Alright, so just arrived in Hong Kong, got through immigration quicker than I've ever done before, which was pretty incredible. Took me a little while to get my bags, but heading to the hotel now. Hoping to get a good night's sleep in, really not feeling well at the moment, so it'd be good to get a good night's sleep in and be ready for the conference tomorrow. So we just got out and there's a juice press. Well, juice press, big chill, but same thing. Here I am, Hong Kong. Tiny room, just like all the hotels in Hong Kong, but much smaller than the hotel room from Dubai that I had, but it'll do. Has everything I need. Bed, fridge, big fridge actually. Tea and coffee, bathroom, pretty compact in here. Hey guys, teeny tiny shower. And they were even kind enough to leave me some fruit. Good job, Harbour Plaza, North Point. Alright, I'm going to sign off and I'll see you guys in the morning. Night. Alright, so here we are at APPEC 2016. How about this view? Like, seriously, could you find a more beautiful place for a school down here? It is ridiculous. 360 degrees, beautiful.
Are all the adults in your school being positive role models? So trying to think about an effective, quality, well-planned, inclusive PE program happens when it's supported by community, staff, and parents. We also have one of the fundamental principles is all about physical activity as a vehicle for learning.
Been here, this is getting towards the end of the first day. I've done 2 sessions today, and as you can hear by my voice, I'm losing it. It's going very quickly, fighting this cold. So I had 2 sessions today on designing games for learning. Both sessions went really well. First session had about 30 to 40 people in it, which was good. Sometimes too many people actually. I prefer probably in that 20 to 30 range. The second session we had about 15 people, and that was a good number. It felt a little bit more personal. I think people got a lot out of it, which was really good. It's always great when you get some really good questions at the end and people are really interested in what you have to say. So looking forward to my 2 sessions tomorrow on assessment in invasion games. And then yeah, heading back to Singapore, but I'll check back in with you guys later.
Hey, how's everybody? Hey. You should really get that cough checked out by a doctor.
No doctors for me. Bunch of lackeys and yes men all towing the company line.
Unfortunately, guys, that's where this vlog ends. I was very unwell for the rest of the time that I was in Hong Kong. I was unwell before I got there, as you saw. But once I arrived, I really didn't feel well at all. I lost my voice on the first day and really struggled to speak. So spent any time that I had that I wasn't presenting just basically trying to get well. So I wasn't able to get any more vlog footage, unfortunately, but I did still want to publish what I did get.
so that you guys could see at least what it was about. But I'll try and give you a little bit of an overview of what the rest of the conference like, or what the conference was like from my point of view, in case you're thinking of going to APPEC in 2017. Now, this was the second year that I've been to the APPEC conference. Last year I was lucky enough to be a keynote speaker at the conference, and I also presented workshops, and this year I was invited back again to present some workshops. So I presented 4 times actually in total. So on the Saturday I presented my Designing Games for Learning workshop. Now, in that workshop I just looked at how I build and design games for student learning within my physical education classes. So we talked a lot about the idea of tactical complexity. We talked about how you can build games up and break them down to their most basic elements to help students to be able to work out what they need to do within a game. So if we want students to have tactical understanding of how to play a game, what we can do is we can really design games in a way that they're going to make it really explicit. They're going to face the sort of problems. And it could be, for example, like a net and wall game. It could be adapting the size of the space. So rather than having just a normal sized tennis court or badminton court, maybe you want to make a really short but wide court, which is going to force students or players to throw the ball to the sides, because that's where the open space is going to be. Or you might alternatively make the court very short, very narrow, and very, very long. Again, looking at trying to do deep shots and shallow shots. So I presented that workshop twice on Saturday. Both went really well. The first session I had between 40 and 50 people turn up for the session, which was a great number. The only issue with the session was because of the space constraints, there was I had to start the session in the cafeteria because I wanted to share some slides and some things on the screen, and then I had to move to an outdoor court. So just that transition time in between was a little bit frustrating. I didn't feel that I had enough time, I guess, to do the first bit in the cafeteria and then move outside. I would have liked to spend more time outside. That workshop I've done before in a gym where I can display at the same time. So we're sort of working through those concepts at the same time as I'm displaying some stuff on the screen. So I think it works better that way, rather than having to sort of like front load all this information at the start and then go out and try and do it. So the first session had about 40 to 50. The second session had about, I would say, 20-ish people. So about 70 people on whole got to see those workshops on Saturday, and yeah, it was really, really great. A lot of new faces that I hadn't seen before. A few familiar faces, but mainly new faces, which was good. It was great to share my message. I'll share the message of that workshop with those people. So that was Saturday. Saturday also, so the early keynote was Ted Temertzoglu. Amazing guy. Talked a lot about physical literacy and how we can basically help students to develop that physical literacy and how it's a holistic picture. Then there was also Carolyn Temertzoglu, his wife, also spoke in the afternoon, as well as during the middle of the day, Mark from Plamio. He shared some ideas as well. So Saturday was a good day. Like I said, really wasn't feeling well. So as soon as I was finished my second session, I ended up grabbing an Uber with Mel Hamada, and I just went back to the hotel and I slept. Because, like I said, I couldn't speak at all. I had no voice whatsoever. So tried to get a lot of rest in because I knew that on Sunday I had 2 workshops to do. So Sunday, I woke up, still couldn't speak. It was actually worse than it was on Saturday. So I was really, really worried. I was coughing a lot, really having difficulty speaking. So didn't take the bus in the morning because I wanted to get a little bit of extra sleep, and I didn't have a session until 10 o'clock, even though it was starting at 8. So again, slept a little bit more, took an Uber into the conference with Skylar from Spikeball, and so we took an Uber in there, got there just before my session, and had a cup of tea, and that definitely helped. I actually found that when I did my session on Sunday morning, so my Sunday sessions were on assessment in invasion games, it was actually that when I was speaking in a normal tone, just in a normal voice like this, I couldn't speak. But if I actually projected my voice to a crowd in a gym, it was actually much better, and I didn't know because I hadn't been trying to speak loud. So Sunday I had 2 sessions, both on assessment and invasion games. The first session, again, a larger group, probably 20 to 30 people, which was good. And then the second group, we had a nice group of 15 and that was good as well. I've done this workshop before at Connected PE and at other conferences, and I like sharing this one because there are hands-on assessment tools that people can use within the workshop and then they can take away and use in their own practice. I found that probably the most popular one that I shared was the heat map tracking. So the idea of peer assessing, students peer assessing each other and watching somebody move around in the space as they're playing. So following them around, creating a heat map on a piece of paper, and then you can add little things like you can add crosses when they get the ball or arrows in the direction that they pass. You can do lots and lots of different things. People really liked that, and I am excited to see how people take that and use it in their phys-ed programs and adapt it to their needs. Sunday I didn't see the early keynote from Mark because obviously I didn't get there till late. Shane Pill spoke during the middle of the day. He talked about the sport education model. Shane's always great to listen to, incredibly intelligent guy, and I think his keynote was another great message for people who did know about sport ed. There was a lot of stuff in there for them to think about how sport ed can cross boundaries and just create better people in general. And if you didn't know anything about sport ed, then definitely it was opening your eyes up to that model. He spoke, and then at the end of the day, there was some prize giving, and Ted spoke again, shared some ideas, and then everyone went on their way. So jumped on the bus, headed to the airport, and flew back to Singapore. So I'm really, really sorry that I wasn't able to get more footage from the conference. I really, really wish that I could have done that. But like I said, my focus really was on just trying to stay well. I knew that if I was trying to interview people and I was trying to get footage of the conference and I was trying to make sure that I was getting everything that I needed for the vlog, that I just really wasn't going to be well. So thanks for understanding that, and I hope that still you're getting something out of watching this vlog. If you haven't been to APPEC before, highly recommend it if you're in the Asia Pacific region. It's a really, really good conference. There was about 300 people there. My only criticism probably this year would be that they had too many sessions happening at the same time. There was often 10 or 11 sessions happening at the same time, and it became difficult for people to choose which session that they wanted to go to. So it created these situations where maybe there are only 4 or 5 people in a session, which isn't great, I guess, if you've put a lot of work into presenting that session. I know Kirsten Bender, for example, like she had a session in the pool doing flipper ball, I think, so modified water polo, and she only had about 2 or 3 people, so it made the session really, really difficult. I'm sure she crushed it anyway because she's a superstar, but I think that was a sort of a side effect of having too many sessions happening at the same time. So my advice, I guess, for the APPEC crew for next year would be just maybe minimize the number of sessions that are happening at the same time, so that you're getting enough people to each session. Apart from that, I can't really fault them in any other ways. It was another great conference, and I know that Ben and the APPEC committee are really, really excited to get back next year and do it all over again, so APPEC 2017. So if you haven't been to it, highly recommend going to it. Check it out, APPEC.Asia. I'll put the link below, and just keep an eye on that over the next 12 months to see when their dates for next year are going to be. So I guess that's it for the vlog. Again, I'm really sorry that it wasn't as great as the Connected PE vlog, and I didn't have as much footage from around the conference and around the area. Definitely keen to continue vlogging the conferences and the events that I go to in the future, so hopefully I won't be sick and I'll be able to do that. But thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to check in the links below. I've put some links in there to some different things and the resources. If you're interested in any of the resources that I shared in my workshops, they're pretty much all available on iPhys-Ed.com, so you can check those out as well. I'll put those links in the description below. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I hope that you got something out of this video. It wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but anyway, I still wanted to put something out for you guys who spend your precious time watching this and hopefully getting some ideas. So until next time, I'm Nathan Horn from iPhys-Ed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.